Vayashkem Lovan Babayt. Lovan woke up in the morning. So the Zohar says, what's Lovan? So the Zohar says, Lovan is Loven Ho'elyon. You know, there was something in heaven which is completely white. You know? Like heavenly purity. So the Zohar says, Vayashkem Lovan Babayt. Every morning, this Loven Ho'elyon, this high whiteness from heaven, is coming down to this world. And you better get ready to receive it. ויש אומרים שאפילו במועצת רבי בשוק ליום על הארץ ספרי דמורתיו. So when I see a person, I bless them. They should be good enough to receive the goodness of the morning. You know, everything God gives me. One of the friends, I don't know if you remember this. This is a Torah from the Pshischa, and it says in Meshalach also. It says, Obo olecho kol ha-brochos ha'ele v'hisigucho. Says God, all the brochos I give you, v'hisigucho, and they should reach you. You know, it's possible that God gives me everything. I have it in my pocket, but it hasn't reached me yet. So when I walk around, I'm saying to everyone, I bless you, it's a good morning. It's a bless you that you should be good enough. Or it means that the goodness of the morning should reach you. And this is twofold. I'm not saying shalom in the morning, so I should remember I didn't daven yet, and also to remind the person I'm seeing it's time to daven. This is very important. Rabbi Melech said about himself that he never did anything in the morning before he davened. He didn't even talk to anybody. He says, "Also loylis asay b'tzrochav olelech neder ad sheyispal tzayotcha." Here's no person, you are mamish absolutely not permitted to do your own thing or to go out on the way until you daven Shemona Esrei.
What? In the previous week it says Mutar Lomar good morning, but only כשהוא ללכת לראות איזה עסק.
Yes, great. Yeah, big steam. Everybody's talking mamish. Part of Yellow mamish. The whole it's you know, would have to learn mamish more. The whole Gemara inside. You hear what the Ron is asking? So Zvetsky the Shulchan says before. So here is the mamish right. So here the heter the Machzor Shekel. Everybody's talking. What is called? Let's see. Well, let's first see what he said. V'yesh mekilin la'achar she'amru mikzas brochos. Koinu she'amru brochos she'amru. V'ter la'achar b'zeh. The Ramo Paskins and Bidishin one day, all of us learn brochos a bit deeper, that if you said already brochos, it's like I said before, the moment you said brochos, you already checked in. You know, after she checks in, she can sit up at the table and order a little coffee. An early coffee break. So after I said brochos, I can already do what I have to do. Min is something heavy. V'lo lechol v'lo lishtas. My mutter lishtas. When something else, mamish not permitted to eat or to drink before you daven. It is all heavy stuff. Over my mutter lishtas kodim tefillah and b'chol and b'shabbos. What do you are permitted to drink? If you have to take medicine, you're permitted to do it. To take it before you daven. Vim hiskelecha koydem alois ha-shacha. Oh, no. Hatzoma v'roe famem b'chlal ha-cholim, and yesh b'cholim v'chavdei b'yispalel. If someone is mamash really hungry, and mamash thirsty, and if you don't daven, you'll feel bad, so you are already considered like a sick person. You know, this is a very deep thing in the Gemara, everywhere in Shas. Anything which will happen in a few minutes, and it doesn't need me to do anything anymore about it, it's already like it's here, right? If I know that by not eating 10 minutes, I'll crack up, it's already like I cracked up. And when I'm sick, I'm permitted to eat. So he says, if you can daven, then it's okay, but if you cannot daven, then you better eat. And if you begin eating before dawn, and that's a big shot. If it's 7 after, then you have to, middle of the feast, you have to stop and daven. The yesh amish in the 7 after. Yeah, I just want you to know something. You know, and the Gemara is something very deep, a good, very deep context. I take the mitzvah for the minimum. That means, you know, when you do something, your mamish do it on your heart. You see, by us eating, it's just for eating just because I like the schnitzel or I like the bagel. We are not even aware. Remember Hillel, when he would eat in the morning, he would say, I'm a kind of mitzvah. Love your neighbor as yourself. He would mamish do a mitzvah to himself. Because he has to eat, he's hungry. You know? Like it was like a different concept of eating. So someday you have to be mafsik. Someday no. Right now I'm doing a mitzvah, I'm keeping myself alive.
Hashem Amar, Hamachasani, which is the third column, the last paragraph.
So that he will tell his children and his house after that, and they will like read God, the way of God, and Leman Hashem Avram. So in order that God should fulfill his promise to Avram. It's a lot of words, but anyway. What is the first sign? Rabbi Leviza begins here. What is the first sign of an Aved Hashem? You know, what is the first sign, let's put it this way, of an assimilated Jew? And what do you call an assimilated Jew? You see, I'm sure you're Shem of feelings. For me, an assimilated Jew is not someone who eats a hamburger on Yom Kippur. I mean, he shouldn't. That doesn't make him an assimilated Jew. An assimilated Jew is somebody who thinks, Gewalt, what I'm doing for my Judaism, not to be believed. You know, have you ever spoken to those heathen? They're so full of themselves, right? Do you know that twice in my life I went to Israel, and even twice in my life I gave out $10 on the street to poor people? What's the first sin of an emissary is? An emissary is the other way around. It is clear to me that I didn't do anything yet. It's clear to me I didn't begin to learn yet. I didn't begin to daven. So he says, the first thing of all, first let me take the Torah outside and learn it inside. Let me ask you something. Avraham Avinu jumps in the fire for God and he comes out. What's Avram's reaction? God should say to God, listen God, I don't want to brag. I mean, do you know what I did for you? I jumped for you in the fire, and I know you have been very cooperative, and you took me out from the fire. In fact, it was so good I didn't even have to give my pants to the cleaner. It was absolutely no fire. You know, it was very thoughtful of you. And you know, when Avraham Avinu was in the fire for 3 days, you know, Avraham Avinu said to the Chevra there, all the Goyal standing there, he said, I'm not going to stand here for 3 days. I want you to give me a chair. So they threw in a wooden chair. And it didn't burn. Then he says, you know, I'm mamish hungry, you know? Get me some ice cream. It didn't melt. Avraham Avinu. And you know why he was in the fire for 3 days? Because Nimrod said that Avraham was a great magician, and he put a magic on the fire. But it wears out after 3 days. So Avraham Avinu was there for 3 days. And you know, the Gemara says you cannot live without sleeping more than you have to sleep. So let's say on the second night Avraham Avinu was really tired. He says, Chevra, get me a bed with some pillows and some blankets. I mean, it's not to be believed. The fire had absolutely no dominion over Avraham Avinu. They pushed him in a little bed out of wood. And he was lying there, sleeping a little bit. He woke up, I'm sure he got Negelwasser. Everything. But what was his reaction to God? He says, Master of the world, I didn't do anything yet. I didn't do anything yet. So what was, this is the deepest in the world. Actually, like you find it in other Chassidish Rebbe. Why was Avraham Avinu so awesomely eager to have children? Because he would say, Rabbi Shem, I didn't do it yet. I want so much to serve you, but I didn't serve you yet. Can you please give me children, and they will become your son? So, that means Avraham Avinu was not just, he wanted to have some children around and makes a good impression on the neighbors, and also we have 2 televisions, one for us, one for the children, you know. All those absolutely, completely outside stuff was not Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu wanted children because he knew that he didn't do anything yet, serving his children. And then one more thing. Avraham Avinu, whenever he did a mitzvah, he did it already in the name of all of Israel. He says, but that he did something twofold. First of all, when he did the mitzvah, he made it easy for his children to be able to do the mitzvah also. You know, let's take in the time of the Inquisition, you know why it was so easy for you to jump in the fire? Because Avraham Avinu did it. Avraham Avinu mamish paved the way for you, for me, for all of us. He mamish paved the way to be able to do it. Why is it easy for us to give tzedakah? Avraham Avinu did it. You see, he did it in the name of all of Israel, in the name of all his grandchildren. So it's already like, so we did it already. So now when we are doing it, it's easy. You know what it means? And this is the deep end. You know, my connection to my children is not just physically because I brought the children to the world. My children are connected to the deepest depths of sunshine. You know, take sometimes parents, a lot of young people are disgusted with their parents. And I'm sure they're right. But yet, And a very, very important moment, Mamash there, one of their parents. So the connection is so deep. So Avraham Avinu's connection to all of Israel is the deepest. And here this is the deepest in the world. Why is it Avraham Avinu affected all the Yidden to Mashiach's coming? Let's say Mazeda was a Zisa Yid. I know that Mazeda is affecting my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. Maybe it does. But maybe why not? Because it wasn't that deep. You know what deep means? Mamish, absolutely bottomless. Mamish bottomless. You see, if I do something on the level of infinite, Mamish infinite, then also it affects my grandchildren infinite 1,000 years from now. And if I do it with limitations, it reaches my son, my daughter, children, not my great-great-great-grandchildren. So Avraham Avinu, when he did something, first of all he did it because he thought maybe my children really serve God. So and then he did it also for his children. And the third thing he said, he made it easy for us because we did it already. Like when Avraham Avinu's deepest depth was doing it, and he's so much, and so much part of his neshama. You know, let's put it this way. It's not always true. I'll tell you something awesome. My Zayd was talking Mamash as Yisayid. And he left Mamash. His last will is heartbreaking. Mamash is begging all his grandchildren, great-grandchildren should be Yidden. And then there's my cousin, the son of my father's older brother. I don't want to say where I met him, the faraway place. And because of me, he said, Friday night, I want you to come. Everything will be kosher. You know something? Never, he doesn't even know anymore when you make Kiddush. Completely off. Mamash, my cousin, my uncle's son, completely walked away from Yiddishkeit. I don't want to say anything bad, because he married a girl, Shomer Tzayir from Israel. And first she had a hard time talking him out of it, but I guess she was very successful. And she's a cute girl, you know. She's sweet like sugar, but she says it's all nonsense. And I was sitting there Friday night, and I felt so bad because, first of all, he didn't know you need kosher wine. He said, I brought for you the best French wine. So I told him, I can't drink wine. Challah he got from a kosher baker. I didn't realize the phrase from Yiddishkeit. And then he says to me, you know, it's mamish kosher, I'm telling you it's not from a pig and not from a horse. Like a baal to vanish, you know. He forgot what kosher is. He completely shoched Samuda. He completely forgot what Yiddishkeit is, you know. It's kosher because it's not from a horse. And they had a little boy who's killed like sugar. At that time he was 6 years old. Okay, Mamash, you know, like remember the story with the Heilige Strelitzke, I don't want to tell you the story. Since I'm so sick, Mamash, I feel bad. I went out to the bathroom every 5 minutes, pretended I'm vomiting. Mamash, I couldn't eat anything. I didn't want to have that feeling. But you know what got me? Where's Mazeda? Where's Mazeda's last one? I didn't hear from him, from my cousin, for maybe 15 years. Give a concert in London. A young man walked in, Mamash, little beard, Mamash, cutest Pela. His boy. His boy. And I realized my Zayda got him through, right? Couldn't get away. Can't get away. So his father thinks if you don't eat the horse, it's already kosher. Mamish goes to yeshiva. He's learning. You know what Avraham Avinu did? Mamish infinite. He broke the walls infinite until the end that you can't get away. You can't get away. No, she can't get away. I don't know if you know this, I shared it with you once, like it was a personal story. You know how many Yidden never, I don't say anything bad, how many German Jews were really on the side of the Führer? The Mamish agreed that we are secondary clemency. Would you believe that when Germans took over Vienna, a German Jew calls up my father, and he says, don't worry, he only means the Polish Jews. Isn't that heartbreaking? I mean, that's okay, right? Like der Rabbiner sind ja nur die polnischen Juden. Wir brauchen dich überhaupt nicht aufregen. You don't have to be excited. No, but I don't want to say, but anyway, there was this German professor in Berlin. He wrote a book on the history of the Aryan race and dedicated to the Führer. I mean, yeah, with the low character. And he thanks the Führer in the forward. It's nicht massig to say, you know. He thanks the Führer for his wisdom and deep, infinite wisdom to restore the Aryan race to their rightful, whatever it is, place in the world. And he writes the history of the Aryan race. But never, I don't want to say anything bad, when the Führer heard that the Jew has a chutzpah. It's heartbreaking. The book came out on Monday. On Tuesday, he is already sitting in Dachau. And he never came home. Knocked him out there. But here is this little boy, he's 11 years old. His father taught him that the German race is superior to our race. That it's shameful to be a Jew. Can you imagine what he doesn't know what to do with himself? And the greatest miracle is that my uncle, my mother's brother, had a shul right next to him, his father's house. Wow. When he heard that his father's in a concentration camp, doesn't come out, you know, they send letters that he's sick, you know the way they do it. He walks up and down the street, Mamish doesn't know what to do with himself. Miraculously, my uncle on his way to shul, he sees the boy standing there crying. My uncle took him with him, and it's a long story. My uncle adopted him, and Mamish realized, in a few days he'll pick up his mother also, right? What's he going to do then? So at that time it was still possible to lead. My holy uncle packed him up and sent him to Rabbi Yerucham in the yeshiva. Told him the whole story. Mamish is utmost ash, right? I don't know if you know this, and don't ask me for names, please, that this boy is today one of the biggest yeshivas in the world. One of the biggest yeshivas in the world. And forget that I told you the story. He once came to New York, and he came to visit my mother. He says, because my uncle is not alive, so the closest he can get to my uncle is thank my mother that she had a brother who saved his life. Where is this coming from? Avraham Avinu, right? The father is pumping the boy that the Germans are a superior race, that he know nothing, but he can't get it out of him. So, now listen to this, it's so beautiful to know. Whatever I do, Avraham Avinu did already for me. Because where do I have the strength? Where do I have the strength? Now listen to the steepest depth. Yosef HaTzadik, you know what the Gemara says? The test of Yosef HaTzadik was Miss Potiphar, that nobody ever in the world by the age of 17 would be able to go through with such an awesome temptation. You know, the wife of Potiphar was one of the most beautiful women in the world. And she offers her services to Yosef HaTzadik. And he's alone. You think anybody says to him, little boy, slave boy, I love you, you're beautiful? Obviously not, right? And we have no even concept what a test it was. So the Gemara says, Rashi said, he was just about doing it, didn't have strength anymore. Says, suddenly he saw his father. Okay, now we need to open your hearts to something else. What did he see in his father? He saw his father eating a bagel, he saw his father eating short on Shabbos. Which moment of his father impressed him? I want you to know the deepest depth. That it was Rosh Hashanah. That's awesome. The day when the test with the wife of Potiphar reached its climax was on Rosh Hashanah. Because Yosef HaTzadik came out of prison 12 years later, but Tzadikim is always to the second. You know what he remembered? He remembered Yaakov Avinu blowing the shofar. That's awesome, right? But according to Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, it is even deeper. You know Yaakov Avinu was so holy, right? But whenever Yaakov Avinu was holy, he was holy ready for his children also, right? So you know what means Niras Lord Muslim Shalovis? So it was clear to him, my father's already paved the way for me. I'm not running on my own strength. So anyway, you know, whenever I do something, it's so special for all the parents here. Whatever we do, we must do for our children. That means whatever I do, on one hand, Avraham Avinu did it for me already. On the other hand, I'm doing it for my children. So you know, someone asks, what's Avraham Avinu's last verse? God said it. The most important thing is for me that I should know, I should do everything good because I'm paving the way for my children. On the other hand, I have to know that Avraham Avinu already paved the way for me. So then he says, the Gemara says that every person has to say, Motza Yegiu Maisa, the Maisa was, when will my good deeds reach the good deeds of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? He said, how can a person talk like this? You know? I daven say, you know, I hope, was a little bit like the davening of Avraham Avinu. I'm crazy, right? The young Rabbi Levi Yitzchak said, it's not true. Because Avraham Avinu, when he prayed, he thought of me, and he paved the way for me to daven. And you know what I mean? I should reach the level of Avraham Yitzchak Yahweh and daven. It means I should touch that infinite split second in Avraham Avinu thought of me, and he davened. It's unbelievable. What? Yeah, just touching, yeah. Yeah, 100%, yeah. Mimi is right. Yagir doesn't mean when will they reach, when will they touch, yeah. A little bit, you know. Like nearly holding hands, yeah. Okay, now what does it have to do with Saddam? You know, I want you to know there was a big conference in New York at one time. And they gave me 2 minutes. Everybody was talking about who is a Jew in Israel, you know. I said, I'll tell you who's a Jew for me. Anybody who really wants his children to be Yidden, they Yid. Anybody who doesn't care is not. You know what it is? Sometimes you meet, you know, someone told me that he was mamish, completely gone from Yiddishkeit. He was on drugs and everything. And then he became also a little bit of a JC freak. So one day his mother came to his house and he had a little JC hanging on the wall. And he was lying on the floor, almost bowing down to Brother JC. And they don't go Yom Kippur to shul. All his brothers are married in churches everywhere. So he studies, serving Brother JC. He's lying on the floor.